Hey guys, Russ here from The Roads We Roam. Now recently we sat down with Joyous Voyagers and discussed our 5 favorite things and our 5 least favorite things about the little guy Max. In this video we had just finished talking about our 5 favorite things and our 5 least favorite things about the little guy Max. The cameras kept rolling and we talked about a lot of great stuff. This wasn't meant for a video, but I thought the conversation was so cool and so interesting and so much value about the little guy Max that we decided to make a video out of it. You can see the 5 favorite things about the little guy Max on our channel. We'll put a link below. And then you can see the 5 least favorite things about the little guy Max on Joyous Voyagers channels. We'll put a link below there as well.
Along these roads we roam, we find adventure through traveling, camping, boondocking, and exploring.
Do you guys still have your Lippert Smart Jack on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had it replaced.
Okay, so you did initially have problems with it?
It wasn't little guys. It was actually the dealer we got it from. We brought it in there to do a little bit of service work on it before we hit the road. The guys put the wrong fuse in, and so me and the owner were trying to figure out the fuse situation. But something happened where that fuse on the Smart Jack failed.
Okay.
It's great. I've had to manually crank it.
That's tough too.
And
on that
it is
one.
tough.
Yeah.
I have the tools, and that's the thing. If you're going to be out on the road, have the tools you need. Because if I didn't have those a couple times, we at City Rocks.
It
when
was at
died,
the City Rocks when
I
we
forgot.
didn't have any battery power.
We were already disconnected. We were already sitting down.
Yeah.
And I was like, we went to pull out, and that's the last thing you kind of do is let the jack up.
It is, yeah.
And then I was like, and so we had to manually. Do it.
You didn't use that tool that they gave you, because that tool that they give you just doesn't really work.
I didn't get
really.
a tool. Yeah.
See, we had a tool, but I mean, you had to push so hard that it would bend and
I got a socket.
Oh,
that's what I was going to ask.
Great parking job at City Rocks, by the way. Walks everywhere.
Pretty proud of that parking job.
9 degrees in between bowlers. I tried to find the hardest spot.
On the first try too. You didn't have to like readjust or anything.
And I really do. That's the fun thing when you've been driving trailers, and it's a fun thing to drive. It's a fun way to figure out where do I want to back that big window up to.
Yeah. And that thing really, it does. It backs up like a wheelbarrow. I mean, you can just get that just about anywhere you want.
Now, our Smart Jack, we just wound up tossing in a dumpster because it just kept getting stuck.
I've heard.
Half of the problem was we didn't maintain it well. When I mean maintaining is we lived in El Paso for 6 months before we left, and the sun is brutal out there, and I didn't have anything to cover it up. So that membrane over the top
That
got
clear
cracked,
plastic.
and when water would get in there, and then when water would get in there, it just wouldn't work. You'd have to wait a couple hours for it to dry out, and then you could get it to work again.
So we just wound up replacing with a very simple, I think it was a $70.
Yeah, it's called the Ultimate Jack.
I was just thinking about this earlier today. So the stargazing window, and I realized this the last week that we owned it. You cannot stargaze from it because it's tinted.
You can't see the stars.
No, you can't.
And even if you wanted to open
daydream
it,
window.
It's,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't.
yes, the way it lifts up, it's still blocking your view of the stars. You cannot stargaze.
Plus, really, the angle that you're lying in bed, if you're lying east-west, you can maybe see out there a little bit.
I mean, it's great for light in there during the day and airflow.
And the cross breeze.
Yeah, it's great for the cross breeze, which I wish they would probably had a lengthwise window like in the front.
Yeah.
That way you could, when you're sleeping at night, if you really wanted to cool down, it's all the way across, and no matter which way you put your head or something, and it would be up a little higher, but yeah, that was, you can't stargaze through the stargazing window.
My favorite window for airflow back there was the one on
right by your head.
Right by your head. My problem was that when you'd open that, we'd have the pillow there. Next thing you know, your pillow is pushing it open.
Right, you can't lean against it or anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because if you replace their mattress, their 2-inch thick mattress, with any other type of standard mattress, it raises you up.
Yeah.
So on our 14-inch, our heads were just above the bottom of that window.
Right.
So
you guys probably couldn't use those little cubbies.
Nope.
No,
Or the
ours
power
completely
socket.
blocked that. So
Yeah.
what we had to do when we wanted to charge our phone is plug in behind the TV.
Yeah.
And we just have those cords coming out from there so we could plug in.
Yeah, Daniel drilled holes so that we could put the cords in between, like into those different cubbies
Slots.
going.
So
on
all the cords
either
behind the
side.
TV, and I
So
just
you
had
can have a bunch
holes
of
drilled.
cords coming in.
That's
So
smart.
whoever buys it,
Yeah.
or we keep it forever.
Yeah.
But it's like all your cords are just like, your cell phone cord.
And they did
it's
modify the newer 2019. I guess 2019 has 2 different versions. They have the early ones and then
Just like
the
the
later
18s,
ones.
yeah.
flush. For the 2020, I want to make a
They're not
littler,
doing-
bigger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not doing any upgrades for 2020. Their Camp Rover
Right. Yeah.
was
it's
their
gonna be
2020 thing, and that's just basically a stripped down little guy
Okay.
without the windows and stuff.
Right.
I want to help them make a littler, bigger guy. Name that double axle, 2 feet longer, a foot taller. Like, why does a teardrop have to? I mean, the concept teardrops, they have to be small.
Yeah.
Make like these rigs that we see. Make a big teardrop.
Yeah.
People still like the style, but you could
Well,
still
I
make
love
it a
the
little
style.
bit bigger.
We did an early vlog where we talked about things we would like change, like if we
Right.
had budget and creative control, and pop up where the curve is.
Yeah.
So that way
Just
you have
like
the
the bottom
extra
of the
haste.
bed.
Well,
Or make it a
extra
slide.
Well, that rig. So we came across, what is it called? I can't remember.
What's
The
it called?
Alto. or
Altos,
something?
The Alto,
those are
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Where they
They do
are
that.
small and then they
Right,
come
right next to
back.
us.
everywhere.
And we watched them. I watched that slide go up. I was like,
That
Yeah.
would be amazing. Just in the
on
back,
a
behind
little
the
guy.
bed.
Just that little bit.
Just
And it would
that
change.
little
It would
bit,
change the
everything.
structure
Yeah.
of it. If you see the roundness and then like a kick up.
Yeah.
But if you showed up and then you could have glass slides
And
go
windows
up.
all
Or
the way around.
what if
That's
Your
you
bed.
could have a bump out on the little guy just to make it wider?
Right.
Like a slide.
Yeah,
one
just
side.
one
On
slide.
the
like
kitchen side.
the kitchen
Yeah.
or the bathroom, either one.
It would be the
Yes.
door. The door would. Yeah, I think that'd be the issue. Is the door.
Yeah, it would have to be the bathroom side.
The whole
way
door would
the-
have to slide out. Like everything slides out. You can
Yeah.
go in and then push the button. And
Or
then that
you've
whole
talked
unit.
about the bedroom area having a slide and just sliding the bedroom out
Yeah, extend it.
and extending that. But
Yeah, just any little extra space
But-
where it could expand out to.
It's hard to complain about space when you buy a tiny rig. It's like you bought
That's
it.
You
what
bought
you.
it.
Well, and that was,
reason. And so
that's
it's like
the
it's a
thing.
plus and it's a negative.
Because when we bought it, that was the whole. We wanted it simple, but to have everything we needed, and that's what it did. It had everything we needed, and we were very nervous about things breaking. So yeah, if it did have a slide or if it did have that pop up, those are things that could potentially go wrong in the future. We wanted the simplistic nature, but having all the creature comforts, and we had that.
yeah.
The whole reason we went small in the beginning was it was very intimidating for us to go out on the road. I had never pulled a trailer before, so I wanted something that was small and not too intimidating. One thing I learned was the longer that trailer is, the easier it actually is to back up to a point. You know, I mean, you get a 40-foot fifth wheel. I don't know, but that's the whole reason we went small.
Yeah, because I fell in love with like a 26-foot
Yeah.
trailer, and Russ was like, I can't drive it. You're gonna have to.
Now I know I could, but back
Yeah.
then.
You
that-
just don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was our motto.
on the plus
first
and the
couple months.
positives too. You know,
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know. We didn't even. There were so many questions that if we went to buy now, that we didn't even know to ask,
To ask,
or
right.
would it even be an issue?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, even moving to another rig one day, like a larger one, it's like, what do you know about this whole model? Like, have y'all done your like? That's a whole. It's a whole nother planet. Each rig is like a whole nother
Yes.
way of learning everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've mastered this.
Well, the good thing about the little guy is and we didn't run into really any major issues while we were on the road.
We
but
didn't,
everything
yeah.
that did come up, we were able to self-fix. And that was something very important to us. And then Liberty Outdoors, they were very good where we could call them or get a hold of them on Facebook or email, and they would get back with us. And that meant a lot. Where now that we own an older 20-plus-year-old, we won't have that support. We won't have that type of ability. And that's a little bit scary, but for a first-time owner and first-time rig, that meant more than some of the money you would have saved
There's
getting
a lot
a
of
less.
security.
They stand behind their product.
They do.
Yeah.
I know that there's been some issues with a lot of people have run into issues with the wheels. You know, and I know you guys had a scary incident like that. Some of the people have had problems with the heater. Now again, that's not Liberty Outdoors' problem because it's a separate product inside their unit. But you're right. We called them. We were cold. It was in the middle of the weekend at night, and our furnace wasn't working. So we just made the decision. You know what? We have to call a mobile repairman to come out and take care of this for us. Called Liberty Outdoors during the business week, and they said, yeah, not a problem. We will reimburse you. And I think it cost us about $300 to get that fixed. Next thing you know, we had a reimbursement check from them. So you're right, they do stand behind their product.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe to us. Also, check out Joyous Voyagers channel. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.